Hello, welcome to another training session. Today we're talking about intraday in EEM. As you can see in intraday, we have the option to see it as intraday or as weekly. When we look at intraday, we have the option both also to see it as agent forecast, or we can see it also as call volume forecast. Okay, I will go into each of them individually, so we'll talk about them. Okay, so the first thing we see in our intraday is intraday agent forecast. Where do we define that it is the intraday? Remember, intraday is the reforecasting where we have all of this information that is being reforecasted throughout the day. If you want to compare, if you want to have data from your original forecast, we can change that as well, but that needs to be done under the client admin. So if we go to client admin, we go to select program, and then under configure, if you see here on the staffing analysis, we can say which analysis we want to use. Here we selected intraday forecast to actuals, but we can say original forecast to actuals, or we can compare original forecast to intraday forecast. Okay, so that's defined in here. At the moment, we have it on intraday. And then the next line is we have our forecast. So that's what we're having. As you can see, they are both the same currently. Yeah, so we have what is on the intraday forecast and the agent forecast. It's exactly the same. The next column we have is our staffed agents. This one is the agents that are actually working on the phone. Yeah, and it will be updated after the interval has been completed. So we have the full information of how many agents do we have logged in. Next on here, we have our variance, which is going to show us the difference between what is required and what we actually have. So our over and unders. Yeah, so we have our variance in absolute numbers and we have percentages as well. Okay, so here we can see we are mainly understaffed, and then at the end of the day, we are kind of getting closer and closer to what we need to have. We have this down here, which is our total hours, work hours, and exception hours. Yeah, so this is just what's been accumulating throughout the day. And we have that here as well. So work hours, how many work hours do we have planned between 8 and 9, counting all of the agents that are logged in. And then we have our planned exception hours, and then unplanned exception hours. The exception hours is just going to calculate planned and unplanned exceptions. Okay, so the next thing we can look at is our call volume forecast. Okay, if I just change the button here at the top, and again, it's intraday call forecast. So it is what we think is going to, or what the intraday is going to reforecast. We also always have the original forecast, and it compares it to our actual numbers. We cannot see actual numbers. We don't have live agents. And then, of course, we can see when we're over and under. Okay, and then forecast to actual percentages, because we're looking at zeros. We cannot get any percentages, but this is what we can look at in our intraday here in EEM. It gives us a clear indication of what the agents are doing. These charts are always the same, and it refreshes every few minutes. As you have been seeing, the data for the interval gets refreshed every half hour. Yeah, a few minutes after the half hour, once we have actual data, we will have this information in here. We can define here on the top of the screen, our line of business, the program name, and then we can see all of the CTs at once, or we can also make a selection. I don't know if we will have any data in here for this. Yeah, we do have some data. So you can change it to just look at one contact type instead of looking at all contact types. Yeah, and then it will show you how many agents you have staffed per each of them. Okay, so this is Intraday. I hope you find this useful. Thank you.